and welcome to ChriSTEAM. If you're new, all of my links are in the description below this video, and be sure to check out the welcome video that I made to learn more about me and my channel. In today's live Draw With Me, we'll be drawing mandalas, just like this. They're really simple and calming to draw, and you can make them black or white like I have here, or you can add color if you'd like. To do this, all you're going to need is a piece of paper. You can use white paper like I have here, or whatever you have on hand. You're also going to want to use a Sharpie or a pencil or a pen. Whatever you have works, because this can be whatever you'd like it to be. Markers will also work like these, or crayons, colored pencils. This is really a very simple craft, and you can do whatever you'd like with it. The last thing I'd recommend having is some circular items. So rolls of tape work really well, or little cups. Anything that you can use to trace a circle will work well for this. If you're watching this live, you're welcome to comment or add questions in the chat, and I'll do my best to respond as soon as possible. Let's keep it all positive, though. Today's quote is from Leonardo da Vinci. "Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication." Keep this in mind while we draw today, and keep your design simple. Don't worry if every little dot is perfectly lined up in your pattern. It's okay, and it's perfect just the way it is. Now let's start drawing. This cup. And I'm actually going to use the top of it, so I'm going to take all these markers out. Okay. Flip that over right like that, and just trace it with pencil. This just gives you kind of a starting shape that you can build the rest of your design on, so it kind of keeps it all in one place and in one circle. You can actually cut this out if you like, and maybe send it to a friend or hang it on your wall, whatever you'd like. But this is going to be the border of our mandala. And one thing that you can do is, if you'd like, you can trace in more smaller circles. So like that one is smaller and that one is smaller. And that way it'll give you more kind of rings to work with. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you might want to use a ruler just to make sure that it's evenly spaced out from the edges, just so you don't have a lopsided mandala. So once you have some base shapes laid out that you can work with to make the rings of your design, you want to take your markers or whatever you're using. You can keep using the pencil, or you can use a Sharpie. I'm using these micron pens. They work really well because they're nice and thin, so you can get very detailed designs. So I'm actually going to use the biggest one for this middle, and just guess right about there. It's the middle. I'm going to make a dot. And this is the start of my design. You have so much free choice with this pattern and with whatever you want to do, which is what I really love about it. There's no right and there's no wrong. And really, everybody can do this. Because even if you're only like 2, you can just get out some crayons and draw some circles on a paper, and it's a mandala. It's a very universal craft, which is what's pretty great about it. if you'd like, you can pick kind of a theme for your mandala. I'm kind of doing some different circles everywhere and polka dots, but you can do flowers, you can do like a paisley pattern. That would be pretty cool. I'll zoom it in a little bit for you guys so you can see it a little better. There we go. I hope everyone is having a really great day today. What's great about mandalas is you can also do them with other media. So you can make one out of string or tape. I know a lot of people love washi tape and using that for crafts. So if you have washi tape and you need something to do, you can make a mandala out of that. You really just got to start and get the ball rolling, and wherever you end up going is wherever you'll end up going. And it's all good because there's really no mistakes you can make in this. It's also a really nice way to kind of end your day or start your day, depending on what you like to do. Kind of a nice relaxing way to do that and just reflect about the day, because it doesn't take much thought to do this, so your mind can be focused on what happened that day. You can see that I kind of have a longer line there than I do right over here. That's totally fine. It's all good, because in the long run, it's just going to look very pretty overall, and no one's going to be looking for those little mistakes or happy accidents. Another thing you can do is start in the corner of your paper. So you can start right up there and just work your way across the paper and make it go like that. That's just another way to do it. And it won't end up in a circle, but you can actually do 4 different pieces of paper. And I'll show you in a minute what that would look like. So if you take all 4 pieces of paper and you would line them up just like this, and then you'd have your mandalas going from the corners out to the edge of the paper, then you'd end up with a pretty mandala, and you can do the same pattern for the whole thing and make a giant circle, or you can do different patterns and it'll be very unique. if you get bored doing a pattern, if you're working on one and you just want to take a little break from it and come back to it, you can always jump to another part of your mandala and just work from there. This also works well if you kind of hit a little point where you can't think of what else you want to add to it. Just take a little break and come back to it later. And with these, don't worry if it goes a little bit outside of the circle, because at the end we'll just cut it right out. I would recommend keeping everything in your mandala in even numbers for the simplest designs. Otherwise, it can get a bit complicated and harder to work with if you have odd-numbered designs. You can also make these holiday or season themed. So these ones, while I was drawing them, kind of ended up looking sort of like they could turn into little fish. So this could be a summer themed one if you wanted to add the fish design, and you could color them in to look like fish. Or you could use snowflakes, or leaves, or flowers for spring. And at the beginning, if you remember, we traced some objects. So I did my tape and this cup in the middle. And I did it in pencil. So if you did it in pencil, you'll be able to erase the lines that you made. It kind of makes the design look a bit cooler because you can't see that you have some guidelines there to help you. This is totally optional though. Sometimes it is nice to have just a solid ring going around your whole design. So I think they'll leave the outside one maybe. We'll see. That's the great thing about these, is that you just keep going until you decide that you're all done. And they're really great for if you have to go and have dinner or lunch. You can just leave it right where it is, and it's not that big of a mess because it's just a piece of paper and a couple markers, and you can come back to it later. These are also really great to do in small little notebooks. You can just carry one around with you and just pull it out if you're waiting for the train or the bus. And just do a couple mandalas and put your notebook away. I think I actually will erase the bottom line. You want to make sure that you give your Sharpie or marker enough time to dry though, that way you don't smudge it when you're erasing. If it was still wet, then I would be getting smears all over my paper, and that wouldn't look all that great. And there you go. Now it just looks like I did a very fancy curlicue all the way around, so no one can see the guidelines. Oh, I love it when you guys interact in the chat. It's so much fun to see what you have to say, even if you're just saying hello. I just love that. It really brightens my day. Oh, that one's darker than I expected it to be. It's all good. We can roll with it. Now it kind of emphasizes the black dots in the middle. So you never know until you make that happy little accident that it can actually turn into something beautiful. And just like anything, mandalas, if you practice, you'll get better and better at it. Even this morning, here, I'll show you. I was doing one this morning, and it didn't go all that well. Kind of had a very lopsided thing right there. So that one was kind of too far over, and that was too close together. But then this one is much more evenly spaced out. I'm quite happy with it. we do next? And once you get to this point in the mandala, you can stop or you can keep going. It's totally up to you. But you can really see it starting to come together, and it looks very beautiful. I think today I'm going to leave mine in black and white, but you're welcome to add color with crayons or colored pencils. Or if you have colored Sharpies, you can use those. You can even start by using color and just do it all in colored pencil or colored Sharpie if you have those. Like I said at the beginning, and I'll say it again, this is really a very easy craft and you can do whatever you'd like with it, and there's no mistakes. You can always go back and add detail if you'd like. One tip is if you get yourself going into a little pattern of what you're doing, like I just did a bunch of circles in a row, and then you can go back and add a design afterwards. That way you're kind of doing the same motion with your hand, and it just becomes muscle memory, so you can get very consistent little circles. And it just makes it slightly easier to do, less stressful. That's really what we want with this. We want it to be very low stress, just a relaxing way to kind of just let your imagination go and relax. And when I do these designs where I kind of skip every other, I never really count to see how many I have. I just kind of hope that it'll work out, and if it doesn't, then you can just go back in and fill in all the other ones and it'll look totally natural. I tried doing this earlier today, actually, in this live stream, and I accidentally filled one in, so I had to go back and fix it. But that ended up being the perfect number, so that worked out well. That's why I suggest keeping everything in even numbers. It'll work out perfectly for you. And if there's something on your mandala that you want to kind of highlight or emphasize a bit more, I suggest adding a thinner or a thicker double line to it, like I'm doing right now. So it kind of makes it more prominent and draws a little bit more attention to it and adds a little bit more detail, which can be fun. So what I'm doing right now is actually part of the design, but it's also going to work as a little guide if I wanted to cut this out. You just have a very easy way to make sure that you line up with all of these little curves. And as long as you're hitting all of them, then you'll end up cutting out a perfect circle. Another thing you can do is if you have, here I'll zoom you guys up for a minute. All right, so if you have a construction paper or a slightly larger piece of paper, you can either cut this circle out and then tape it onto there to kind of give you a nice frame, or you can cut, so we traced it with this circle. So I'm going with that and draw the circle. And then take your scissors and cut this middle part out. Just fold it slightly to give yourself a little crease, and then you can cut it out. And this is going to just make you a little frame, sort of like you would have a picture frame. And you can use a paper cutter, or you can cut it down to the size that you want the border to be. This is slightly easier if you don't want to risk cutting your mandala and ruining the pattern, because you're just making a lovely frame for it. All right, there we go. Use that for another craft. So obviously nobody's perfect, so there are little pencil marks here and there. So I'm just going to flip it over, that way there's no pencil, and place it right on top of my mandala. You want to center it, and then, there we go. All right, right about there, perfect. So now you have a nice frame for your mandala. You can glue this down or tape it down, however you want to secure it. And you can write a happy little message around the outside, or you can make this the inside of a card or the outside of a card. This can be a very pretty front of a card for somebody to brighten their day. You can also continue your mandala pattern outside of it. Once you glue it down, you can kind of just keep going with your pattern on the screen paper or whatever paper you have. You just keep going outside of the pattern of the mandala. All right, so here is the finished mandala that I made today, and I hope you guys made some very pretty ones as well. Sorry, can't quite get it on the camera. There we go. All right, as always, I love seeing your art and whatever you guys do, so be sure to tag me on Instagram or Twitter and share your art with me. I love seeing them. They brighten my day so much. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, please give it a thumbs down, because the feedback really helps me create content that you all will like. If you have a friend who would love to do some drawing and just doesn't know what to draw, you can send them this video and they'll have little draw with me to go with. And I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe so you're notified of future posts. I post on Thursdays and Saturdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye.